Welcome to the Engaged by Design podcast, where we help you engage more learners more effectively. This is the show where we explore how intentional design, agile leadership, and human-centered innovation can help educators thrive in a changing world. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Cottam, and today, this episode is something a little bit different. You see, we just returned from the Online Learning Consortium conference in Orlando, Florida, where Engaged by Design had a booth in the exhibit hall. Now, this was our first time attending as an exhibitor, and so over 3 days, we talked with faculty, instructional designers, ed tech leaders, vendors, and innovators from all over the country. It was fascinating. And along the way, from time to time, we would turn on the recorder in our booth just for ourselves, and we recorded a series of conversations there at our table. They're not polished interviews. They're just our authentic reflections among ourselves as we thought about the conference. Sometimes it's rambling, often thoughtful, sometimes a little bit of laughter, maybe a few insights, and plenty of interruptions where you don't hear anything happening because we turned off the recording. So this is kind of exactly what it feels like to be in the middle of a bustling conference hall. And today, we're going to bring you into that space. You will hear in the background the sounds of the exhibit hall. You'll hear snippets of our real conversations and our reflections on what we learned about AI, about course design, student success, and both the current state and the future hopes of online learning. So without further ado, let's dive into several clips I set aside just for you. Okay, Vernon, we're sitting here at the OLC booth for Engaged by Design.
We have the best booth.
We
It's on
do.
the corner. People walk either right or left, and we're on the right side. So it's even
We're on
better.
the right side, which is the correct side.
The correct side, and we're on the right side. And it's also by the snack tables and the food tables.
What
And
are your three big takeaways from the OLC so far?
the first one would be just looking over the years. I think it's a really good turnout, but it's also lighter than I would have expected. And
Yeah.
we talked to some folks that said that they came on their own, but they had cancellations or
Right.
just pull back right at the last minute.
It's due to budget constraints
Yeah.
and things happening at their universities.
Because we have a VUCA, a volatile, uncertain, right?
Who ever heard of that?
Complex and ambiguous environment right
Right.
now in higher ed. And you can see it at the conference that we're missing some folks.
Yeah. Some of the cool things that have happened, we're presenting AI related
Right.
technologies. And there's an AI like exploration center down the aisle from us.
Yeah.
The keynotes have all been about the effects or impacts of AI. It seems to me like nobody really knows. We're all guessing. We're all trying to react. Things that are changing really
Right.
quickly across higher ed and AI and learning. So,
It's almost like a denial stage, right?
yeah.
That it's like, is this happening? Is this really happening? Yeah. And it really is happening. One of the nice things we've been doing here is have Jared Trusky, our wonderful partner, who's been showing off our AI Course Design Accelerator. But it's faculty in the loop AI.
Well, it is enabled, right? It's enabled by AI. It helps you to speed up
Sure.
your process. We keep telling people
It's a tool.
what would have taken you a month or more working with a faculty to get your course shell up. You do it in an afternoon, basically. So
Yeah. And, the exciting thing is watching those demos,
yeah.
the first time that Jared exported it directly into a Canvas class,
Oh yeah.
and the verbal gasp, whoa, that just did that, and it put it all in all the
It built the
modules,
shell
the
just
lessons,
like that.
the
So
quizzes, everything was there, and it was obvious. That's really what technology should do. It should be a lightener. It should be a time saver, but it shouldn't replace the creativity or the humanity That's why we say keep faculty in the loop.ai, right?
There are tasks that you have to do either as a faculty member or as a designer that don't add value.
Exactly.
Copying something from a Word document into a web page or your LMS, there is no added value of a human doing that process.
Right.
If the technology can do it, there is value added in creation, curation, creation,
yes,
designing the learning experiences for everybody. I think that's what faculty in the loop is. I mean, the faculty is involved in all of that creation part without having to do the drudgery of technically copying and pasting and moving things around.
Right. Yeah. So I was just thinking about this. You could probably do this if you've been working with AI for a couple of years and have trained models and things like that. You might be able to do it, but it's sort of like I call it a concierge approach. It's like, don't mess around with this. Let me just let someone else who's already thought about this work through it, and then make sure it's aligned with Quality Matters, with Bloom's taxonomy and backwards design, so that you get what you want.
It is fully a backwards design model, really. You're starting with what are your learning objectives, how are you going to assess them, and then building all of your content.
And that's why we love things like that at Engaged by Design.
Yeah, that's right. The design matters. I mean, having some of the conversations, people are saying, oh, you mean you're like doing this on purpose? It isn't just randomly you end up with something that's good where it's, from the beginning, if you build with your competencies in mind, you create really good learning objectives. The technology can now help you do that more quickly without forcing you to do anything. I've liked taking my macro leadership book and ingesting it into the Course Design Accelerator. And I ended up very quickly, again, in an afternoon. In an afternoon, I could take the chapters of my book. I could take PDFs of each chapter, ingest those things in with chapter summaries, and give it my ideas of what I wanted to happen in each lesson, which is a few sentences.
Right.
And then it would generate all of the pages that would go into the LMS.
And activities and quizzes.
Media briefs.
Summative things and things like that.
So Jared's been giving, I don't know how many demos Jared has given already, like 50?
It's good.
100?
Like it. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So Jared, from your perspective of showing all the demos, what have you learned from it?
I would say that for one, regardless of where the institution is, and what size they are or how mature they are, everybody has a lot of the same challenges.
What kind of challenges are they naming?
The challenges are, I would say broadly, one of them especially is the idea that AI is, a lot of times it is being presented as a solution.
Okay.
And so it seems like people are trying to change what they're doing or how they're doing it to match the solution, because what's being presented is a solution to a problem, which is...
But it's solution first instead of problem first? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, it's solution first. And so it's homogenizing everybody's problems. But what that's going to do is create sameness across all these like wonderful, beautiful institutions everywhere. And because everybody's looking for the same solution. And so
it reminds me of the Simon and March trash can theory of problem solving. You take everything you throw in the trash can, and that's the same solution.
Yeah. And the takeaway that I'm taking from this, oddly enough, is that AI isn't the solution. AI is a tool. The solution already exists within the institution. The institution is made of the people, and everybody's trying to innovate, but they're relying on the solution to innovate, when I think that the innovation lies within the institution, within the people, within their processes.
Yeah.
And the AI is a tool for that innovation, but it is being presented as the solution, which is making all the problems the same.
And probably raising expectations for people that are unrealistic, right? A lot of buzz, a lot of hype. It's not a panacea, right? We're definitely in the hype cycle. However, one of the things that I find interesting is with our product, with the Course Design Accelerator, that it's actual application based on years of knowledge. So, I mean, I see that as, I don't see a lot of that except at really high levels. Michael, what are you noticing?
Well, you have similar challenges no matter what your institution is. When we're asking people about their course development process, it's almost universally about time and about getting creative and being able to do quality in a timely manner, getting things aligned. And of course, as we've talked about earlier already, it's the integration of AI and the question of academic integrity because of the ways that untrained students are using AI, right, to write the papers for them. One of the keynotes yesterday, a couple of key things they shared was that AI is so new, there are very few research studies. There was an fMRI study done around the use of AI to write essays. And they had the subjects in this study in an fMRI machine. So it's recording brainwaves, what's activated in your brain, right? And the students who just had the AI write it, ChatGPT write it, very little activation, very little learning. However, the differences between those students and the ones who wrote an outline in a draft first disappeared. So you were good if you wrote first and then you went to AI to enhance. The learning happened. But it didn't happen if you went straight to AI and had it write the essay for you. And then you review it and think that maybe you've learned something. You really haven't unless you put the effort in. It just reminds me of time on task is the biggest determiner of learning. Right?
Time on task and activation of the brain.
If you're doing focused learning work, even if it's maybe even a less effective technique,
yes,
it's better than less time.
Yes,
you need to put the time into the learning.
The time on task is critical. You know, that may be actually for this time or period that we're in, is understanding that it's like going to the gym. You need to work the muscles. So they have a little bit of opposition. They need to be worked for them to get stronger. I mean, the mind and learning is a similar thing. You need to run those ideas, those thoughts, those experiences, those reflections through your neural pathways so that you can retain it. It's not going to get coded into your long-term memory if you haven't done the work necessary even to pay attention to it.
Right.
And
so it's been fun.
That's, because there is no limit to long-term memory.
And we just had a faculty member come by. She was saying one of her insights was that they've been spending so much time worrying about students cheating and trying to get them to not use AI or to detect AI use in writing papers. What her realization was that you had to start thinking about it, not in terms of banning or catching people using it to cheat, but to turn it around and say, how do you help them to learn to use it appropriately in your field?
Yeah.
We talked about how for coding, for programming.
Yeah.
I don't think you can be a coder or a programmer these days unless you know how to use the AI tools.
Not anymore.
There's no way you can do it.
Nope.
People who've been pros forever have to retrain themselves to getting the AI to do the coding for them.
Yes.
You were having a conversation the other day about natural language coding, basically.
Right.
Right. You're coding using your English background.
Yes.
To get it to do technical.
But yeah, having that layer of rationality, you know, that it tells you the rules, it tells you the parameters that you need. I think in our product for the Course Design Accelerator, what we've done is actually bridled some of the idiocracy of AI. And so, it's a wild, powerful beast, but it does need to be bridled. and, you keep the human back in it, the faculty. That's why we have faculty in the loop.ai or key faculty in the loop.ai.
Yeah.
We
Well, I
want
think
that to happen.
we've had multiple discussions with people, especially faculty and designers and others, who know that if you just have ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude do your writing for you, that it doesn't give you the results you want. And so then if the faculty does that once, they actually haven't learned how to get the right prompts in.
No.
And it took, I say they, but I mean me. Every time that you go into a new chat, you have to refine the way that you're asking it to do things.
Or it'll give you slop.
It does, and it gives you slop.
AI slop. Yeah. I think we're in a tipping point, not because everyone's ready. Maybe I talked about being in denial first, but it's sort of that point when you said, okay, we can't really teach mathematics without using calculators. And
every new technology that's come out like that just disrupts.
It does disrupt.
It doesn't.
So maybe it's the tipping point for the disruption, but I see it as a utility now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing it as a utility.
Well, it's embedded in everything.
Yeah.
You think about AI, machine learning, the deep learning, all of those different technologies that have been developing over the last few decades.
Yeah.
Culminating in something that can talk to you and sound like a human.
Yeah.
But behind it is all of this technology that's been in development forever.
But it doesn't know what a room refresh is.
Actually, you should tell that story about the helpful bot. With
so
hotel.
I call in the hotel and the hotel says, oh, hi, how can I help you? And so, well, I would like a room refresh for my room. And I stop. Well, tell me more about that. Okay. Well, new towels, fix the bedding, do a little cleanup, we empty the trash. You would like 3 towels? How many towels would you like? Pretty crazy. Yeah. So, I'm asking this, and finally I'm on the phone. I say, yes, no, 3 towels. No, you're not understanding. You're not understanding. I'll transfer you to someone who can talk about it, you're directly. And so, of course, I get to the human and I'm like, hello, Serena or Selena. I can't remember what the name was. And, how are you this morning? I'm doing well. I said, hey, I'd like to get a room refresh for my room. So where are you staying? Okay, yes. What room? Yes, here's the room. And it's like, okay, that'll be good. And I said, just, for your information, your bot that I talked to didn't understand anything. And she chuckles. She laughs and she says, no, they think they're going to do everything for us. But what happens is it always sends it to the person. How many demos do you think
Probably close to 100 demos.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's probably close to 100. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, probably close to that. Yeah, I mean, maybe 75, something like that. I don't think any hour went by without giving at least 5 an hour. And
yeah.
And there were times when the demo was multiple people at the same time. So yeah, I would say probably 75.
Yeah. What were some trends of questions that people were asking you as you were doing the demo?
Yeah, there was real excitement about it integrating with Canvas.
Because totally the Course Design Accelerator,
right.
Absolutely. Perfectly exports into Canvas.
Yes, it exports into Canvas. So the Course Design Accelerator is a product based on a very specific process, and it's meant to facilitate that process. Its output isn't a complete course. Its output isn't something that takes away the work. It's something that lets you do the work faster and better. And I would say that overall, people would watch it, and then a lot of the feedback was like, oh, I can see how this would help the process. I can see where, you ask them in the beginning, how long does your course development process take? And it's measured in months.
Yeah.
And the bold claim is that we can take those months and condense them into a day. And in a kickoff meeting, you can do all of like the box checking in a kickoff meeting and leave that kickoff meeting with a fleshed out course outline. We're not taking away anything. We're speeding it up so that you can really dig into the work that you want to do as an instructional designer and that you want to do as a faculty member who is the subject matter expert. And so you get them to that point in a day, and there seemed to be legitimate excitement about that idea.
Every person that I asked, after I said, convincing them to go watch the demo and take a few minutes to watch the demo, I would ask them the question, did I steer you wrong? Did I deceive you? And every one of them said, no, this was really good. This was definitely worth seeing it.
It is definitely...
It's like it's a mind blowing for some of them, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely less shiny than a lot of the other things out there, but it's more in the weeds than anything else is. We're trying to create a tool to do something that we know needs to be done. We're not trying to sell a solution that you need to change your design process to. We're creating a tool to facilitate the design process. And there's a subtle difference there, but it's an important.
It's a big difference. And I think one of the things also is that there's AI that everyone's hyping about, but this is actually, I talked to Michael about, harnessed AI,
right?
This has been domesticated, and it's practical. I like what you said. It's down in the weeds because it provides an output that is a real solution.
Yeah. And it recognizes the limitations of AI, right? So
yes,
we're not trying to say, hey, we're going to write your whole course and there's not going to be any problems. This recognizes the role of AI in the course design process and its limitations. And so we're not trying to oversell this promise of AI making everything perfect. It's just a tool. And that's what we're presenting, is that this is a tool for that process.
One of our little stickers here is, grabbing one right now, is keep faculty in the loop.ai, right?
Right.
And this took on a different meaning in some ways. When I was talking to a designer, it was like, keep the faculty in the loop and help them be accountable, right? From the faculty perspective, it's really clear, like keep faculty in the loop. Yeah, I need to be in the loop. It's my class, right?
Right.
I'm responsible. I think that two-sided part of the coin,
right,
is really important, but this product, the Course Design Accelerator, does that. And I like what you said, it's not overselling, it's not overhyping it, saying, here are the limitations, here's a responsible and ethical way of doing this,
right?
And we're still keeping the faculty in the loop, we're keeping the humans in the loop.
Right. Yep. So that's kind of the point, is just speeding it up, keeping everybody in the loop, and keeping everybody accountable for their part in that process, so that what you end up with is more quick to market and higher quality, because you spent that time, what you would have been doing, checking all the boxes and making sure everything's right. You spent that time all up front, but you did it in like an afternoon. So
it's deliberate design,
right?
It's thoughtful design. Yeah. All right. So how's your energy level, first of all?
I just had a really nice interaction with somebody that came back and
gave you a hug.
Yeah, gave me a hug and thanked.
Talk about that. Talk about that. So why did they come back and give you a hug?
Well, she came and we connected. We talked about my purpose. Not my purpose, like the My Purpose journal.
Yeah.
And I just had a feeling to go, after she left, I just had a feeling to go chase her down and give her a copy. So I did, and she was, excited about that. And I didn't think much more of it. And then, with 30 minutes left in the day, she came back through to make it a point to just come say thank you again for that. And she was grateful for it. So, those types of interactions are important to me because they're genuine, they're authentic, and those things are important to me. Crowds in general, though, like I'm always inside of a crowd, I'm looking for that authentic connection, and crowds in general don't pump me up. My battery goes down you go into a crowd and come back more energized than you went into it. And I go into a crowd and come back and tired. And so my social battery is low right now, but I'm excited about like the genuine connections I've made with individuals.
That's great. I thank you for sharing that, Jared.
That moment is a reminder of why we do this work. Yes, we love the tools, we love the technologies, we love leadership models and frameworks, but real transformation happens one by one in human connection. As first-time exhibitors, we felt that deeply. The bingo cards, the swag hunts, the conversations with friends, the old ones and the new ones, all of it reminded us that learning happens best through relationships. And we're so happy we were here to get connected. Thank you for spending this time with us as we reflected on the OLC conference. And if you were there and stopped by the Engaged by Design booth, thank you so much. Your energy, your questions, your insights, everything that you brought to our table, to our group, it shaped this episode and it really shapes the way that we move forward. So for anybody else who didn't meet us, if anything you heard today resonated with you, the Course Design Accelerator, our strengths-based approach to leadership, or the simple desire to build better learning experiences, we would love to connect. We'd love to collaborate and partner with you. So visit engagedbydesign.com or follow the link in the show notes to schedule a conversation. Again, we're here to help you achieve what you want to achieve. And remember, the future of education isn't AI alone. The future is human, with faculty in the loop. And it starts with you, and it starts with me. Engage by Design.